In this video, I'm going to show you how to do Boolean search in Art Bibliographies Modern. Boolean search is basically a way to command the database to make sure that it includes more variants of a word so that you're getting as many relevant results as possible. But you can also then be more specific in your search so that you can drill down and really get very specific papers that are specific to what you want. So particularly useful when you're doing a dissertation or a research project. I'm going to start with a very basic search for fairy tale, and we're going to pretend that I'm going to do some research into fairy tales and feminism, or fairy tales and how they relate to women, and I'll just see what I get. We can see I've got 374 results here, and if I scroll down I can start to look at the highlights of where it's finding my word. And I can see that it's finding fairy tale as one word, and I can see that it's bringing up fairy tale with a hyphen, but I'm not really seeing fairy tale when there's two words, and I'm starting to wonder whether maybe there should be more results than 374. If we consider how big this database is, I would expect to get more than that. So I'm going to start using Boolean search to try and get more results. I'm going to use OR. And I'm going to use fairy tale as the phrase. The OR command is telling the database that it either needs to look for fairy tale and variants of fairy tale, or it needs to find the phrase fairy tale, two words, next to each other. So by using OR, we are giving the database more options. We either want it to find this or it can find this as well. That should give us more results. So I can see here that we've now got 1,134 results. That's far better. We can see it's picking up fairy tale when there's a hyphen. We can see it's picking up fairy tales. So it's picking up many more variants here. That's far better for our search. The other command I want to show you is the AND command. Remember that I was looking up fairy tale and feminism? If I put AND in between two words, it tells the database that it must find both of them in the item. So in this case, it must look for items that have both the word fairy tale and the word feminism in the item. Because we are being more specific, we would expect to see less results. And you can see here that this has retrieved 9 results, which is far too few, even though if we look, these results are a lot more specific to what we're looking for. But I can bet that there are more results than that are going to be relevant to our research. So we've done one search that was far too broad, and we've done one search that was far too specific. But what happens if we use AND and OR together? If we put in fairy tale or fairy tale, the phrase, and then if we drop down in a separate box, we can put in our feminism concept here. And we can use the word AND in between those boxes to connect them. I would recommend doing that over doing something like this. If you put it all in the same line, the database might look for any items that have got either the word fairy tale in written like this, or the word fairy tale written like that, but items that must also have feminism in. That's what we want, right? But the database could also do this. Look for any item that has the word fairy tale in, or any item that has both fairy tale and feminism in, but fairy tale spelt like this. So the database can get confused as to what it's prioritizing if you put it all into the same line. Regardless of whether that made sense or not, I recommend put different concepts on different lines. So I'm going to put AND feminism. I'm going to keep feminism on the second line. And we can use OR for feminism as well. So we could do feminism, or I'm going to look for female, or I'm going to look for woman. So I'm just trying to think of different words that could indicate my kind of feminism concept, or looking at femaleness, or how it relates to women. So keeping it like this, let's do a search and see what happens. So the database is currently looking for either fairy tale spelt like this, or with the hyphen, or fairy tale as a phrase. And it's also looking for items that have got one of these two spellings in, and either feminism or female or woman in. So you can see here that now we've got 407 results, but these results should all have information in them pertaining to fairy tales and how they relate to women. You can see going through the results that most of these are a lot more relevant to our research. In Art Bibliographies Modern, you've got add a row underneath, and you can add additional rows if you want to. So, for example, we could put and photography here, or film. You can add as many rows as you want, but keep it simple at first. You can also start to add in wildcards here as well. So if I was thinking feminism, feminist, or feminine, I could also, for example, add a little asterisk there as well, and I'd expect that that would give me a couple of additional results. But the main thing here is to map out your vocabulary, think about the different ways that researchers are talking about your subject, keep it simple to start with, and then start to do a little bit of experiment to try and work out what the best searches are using and or.